Yep. There we go. Hey, beautiful people. It's me, EL, your favorite dyslexic book nerd here at Blackout Magazine. And today, I have this wonderful guest with me, Michael LaBorn. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing great, and happy anniversary, Blackout.
Thank you. We've been around for 4 awesome years now. Where black and brown queer culture lives. We are the pulse of the culture. So I appreciate you being here with us. Um,
Thanks for having me.
man, like I was saying earlier, I have been following you for quite some time on TikTok, and now I follow you on Instagram and anything and any and everything because the work you're doing is extremely important. And I'm just honored that you're here with us. And could you introduce yourself to my readers and let them know a little bit about what you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely, and thank you for saying all that. It means the world to me. And so, my name is Michael LaBorn. I am I am a bane in Book Talk's existence. To be completely honest with you, my goal is to be disruptive, to be messy, to be loud, until bookish spaces remember that Black people have earned our spot. Um, so I make the majority of my content about uplifting Black and Brown authors, specifically indie authors. Because if y'all don't know, most Black and Brown authors are going to be indie to the day they die. So I want to make sure that space is respected. And right now, I am working hard to create more Black and Brown books and to help more authors get out there in the world.
Which I love. Like you're definitely the reason why I read more indie books by black and brown authors. Because I read black and brown books like pretty much exclusively. Like I don't think I've read a book this year that wasn't written by a black or brown author, right? But then I started seeing your TikToks and I was like, I never thought about indie authors, right? And so I was like, oh, what was that book I got first? It was the one with the mermaid.
Devil
Um,
of the Deep.
yes. So I got that book and I was like, yo, this book is awesome.
I
And
love that
so
book.
so then I was like, might be some more. And then I saw your TikTok about the name bearer. And so then I had to get that book and then the sequel and now I'm the third book is on the TBR. It's behind a couple books, but I'm trying to make my way to it. Definitely. Um, I also um joined your bindery. Could you tell our readers about your imprint bindery and how that works?
Yeah, I'd love to. So Bindery is a newish platform. It's been around, I think, a year and a half now, but it's pretty large already. It is an online community building platform, kind of like Patreon, but it's specifically for bookish content creators. And the goal for Bindery is to create more publishing imprints that are bringing more books to life. Directly under the guidance of bookish influencers, because right now the market is pretty much controlled by bookish influencers. The books that we are talking about online are the books that get big, so they were like, why are we not putting publishing decisions in their hands then? So Bindery did it. So I recently partnered with them to start a publishing imprint, and the entire purpose of my publishing imprint is to fight for Black and Brown voices, and to challenge the boundaries that currently exist for Black and Brown people, all of the limitations. It's called Left Unread, and the books that are left unread because y'all won't read our books. We're fighting for them. It is a subscription based company. So the more subscribers I have, the more books I can publish.
I am personally a subscriber. You guys need to be a subscriber. I need to go to bindery. Left unread. Y'all need to click it
Please
and
do.
hit subscribe. It's free to subscribe if you guys ain't got the dough. But if you got the dough, like I'm talking about, not even a sandwich. I spend like $30 on a sandwich in a day. So y'all go and subscribe to that. I'm gonna make sure that I put those links down below in the interview. So y'all go click that, subscribe. What's your favorite genre of books? I mean, what do you read the most?
I read fantasy the most, but I love dystopian literature. I love dystopian, but there's more fantasy in indie spaces. So I kind of hang out around there.
Why dystopia?
Um, I think that dystopian literature has the ability to really speak to what the world really is. It pulls back a lot of the bullcrap, a lot of the nonsense that we're told to believe, and it kind of shows you what the world actually is. And it really paints a picture of what it can become if we turn around. And so for me, I think that reading Black and Brown um, dystopian literature really gives me hope um, that there are things we can actually do to fix these problems. And I love hope. I love hope. And a lot of people struggle with dystopian because they're like, it's so negative. It really just says the world is horrible, the world is dying, everything's horrible. Yeah, it does say that, but for a reason, because we're never going to get to better if we don't recognize that. So I think dystopian has the ability to wake people up in a way that nothing else does in literature, at least in fiction. Obviously, there's nonfiction books out there that I hope are doing some things to y'all.
Absolutely. You're also a writer. And an author. I did not know that until I started researching.
Yep, I am. I don't talk about my writing that much because I'm not that focused on it right now.
Mm.
But I do have some projects under the works. Right now, they're mostly like for my bindery subscribers, actually. So you have access to them.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I am currently reading them right now.
Nice. Hope you enjoy
Yes,
them.
I am definitely like I enjoyed it so much that I like was looking for um what's the name of the book that you published? Um,
LP80.
yes, I was looking for that book.
It's not out right now. It's not out.
Yeah, I know. I went to the Amazon to purchase it. It was like, nah, you can't do that. No.
It's so dumb why it's not up to. What had happened was, I was working with Ingram because I don't like Amazon. I don't like Amazon. I
I
was working
don't.
with Ingram to get it updated when I put out the new version of the book, and it wasn't working. And I was like, I don't care enough about this to fight with y'all, so I just left it down.
Okay, fair. That's fair.
I'll put it back up though eventually.
Okay, well, I guess eventually I'll get to read it. What would be what would be your advice for someone who is starting out as a indie author? What would be your advice to them?
Okay. Build community. It is a very lonely experience to try to thrive in an industry that doesn't want you to. It's lonely. It is expensive, and the barriers are so great that it's incredibly disabling to try to be an indie author, period, let alone if you are black, if you are queer, if you are disabled, or if you just don't have access to the tools that other people are using to succeed. It is very hard. But most of the things that are in your way are, you can overcome them if you have community. So I would say build community both with people who are further along in their careers and with people who are at the same spot in their career, because there is something so empowering about being connected to people who are in the exact same space of life as you and who are facing the exact same hurdles, because you can just push through things easier together. So I think community is the number one most important thing for someone starting out in this industry.
I like that. It's cool. Um, so if I'm starting out reading like so okay, so I want to get into fantasy, right? So usually you see a lot of TikTok videos. They're like, if you'd like to get into this genre, you should read start with such and such, right? So if I want to get into indie fantasy, right? What would be your recommendations? What would be the first book to start with?
Devil of the Deep. Devil of the Deep. Um,
You was gonna say that.
that's by Valencia Jean Francois. I would say you want to read everything Natalia Hernandez has written.
Mm.
You want to read everything Amanda Weaver has written.
Mm.
Women of color, I guess, is what I'm going to say.
Start with the women of color.
They write. They write. They write. Um, Maya Divine Awaken by Michael Tinsley is an incredible book.
I've been checking that out. I've been meaning to get that book. I'm gonna have to get that book.
Such a good book. Such a good book. Jessica Cage too. I would say read some Jessica Cage.
Okay.
I think if you get through them five authors, you're going to be hooked, and you're not going to go back.
Okay. Definitely the first two I got. I'm gonna have to Amanda Weaver. That's the
I
first
love
time I've
Amanda.
heard her name, so I'm gonna have to check that out. And Jessica Cage, I've seen her TikToks, and I'm like, might I? I might have to check
I just got one
that.
of her books in
check
the
that
mail,
out.
actually. I just got a special edition of I Accidentally Summoned a Demon Boyfriend. It's
Oh,
incredible.
nice. Very nice. I like that. That's what's up. I might have to get that special edition. I'm already getting the binary special editions.
Are you?
Yes. For my birthday, I'm getting all of them.
Awesome.
I can't wait until Left Unread has its first book so I can get the special edition of that book also.
Well, hopefully soon. Hopefully soon.
Right? Look, I'm doing this. I'm doing this. So outside of dystopia and fantasy, do you read any other genres of books
Yeah.
by indie authors?
Yes, I do read a little bit of romance. Romance is not my favorite genre, but I do read a little bit of it, especially because it's so overwhelmingly black women who write indie romance. So I gotta be in there. And then I do read some horror. I really like horror. I want you to be prepared though. If you read indie horror, you need to be ready because those are horror books where nobody has said, "Hey, too far." Um,
Oh, I sound interested now. What? Really?
indie horror is it's intense. That's really where I stick though. Fantasy and dystopian is really what my bread and butter.
I got you because I'm into dystopian fantasy. That I'm your guy. Then horror. I won't watch because me and um TJ Terry Jim Benton Walker we talked
Hmm.
about
Love
horror.
to.
He gave me like this list of horror movies to watch, and I was like, I'm not really into horror movies. I'll read a horror book all day long, but I'm not. I gotta go to bed. I
Well,
can't
check
do
out
it.
Amanda Weaver then. She has a new horror that came out a couple of months ago. It's called what is that book called? No One's Gonna Take Her Soul Away. It's about a black woman
Take
who
her.
gets sent to the seventh level of hell, and she has to escape through all seven levels to get out. It's like Dante's Inferno, but a very black, very um, found family and fighting for liberation version of it. It's incredible.
I'm definite. As soon as I'm off of here, I'm gonna have to go grab that. I'm not really a romance guy either, but I'm giving romance a try because there's an indie author, Marissa McQueen. I just
Okay.
interviewed her for this month's issue for September, and I saw her TikTok, and it just spoke to me, right? Because it reminded me when I first got on TikTok and started my account and stuff. And so I reached out to her and I was like, tell me more about your book. Let me check it out. You know what I'm saying? And so her brother's keeper, like from the first page to the last page I was in.
I've heard of that book.
It is you gotta check it out.
I will.
You gotta check it out. It was because I don't really like the whole sappy thing and I don't like things that seem like I would not do that. Like what?
Yeah.
She writes historical romance
Okay.
and the book was awesome.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's my
definitely.
big reason I don't read a lot of romance either. Because I'm like, I would never behave this way. Get out of here. And like, and don't get me wrong, like I also wouldn't write a dragon. I don't know why it's different. I I don't know why it's different, but in my head it's different.
Exactly. It's like I would never ride a dragon, but yo, that's
But
way
I want
different.
to.
Right. I want to.
But I don't want to call you a good girl though. I don't want to do it.
Right? I don't want to do that. Yeah, no. I don't want to,
Yeah.
but
I
a
don't want to
dragon
trip in Walmart and accidentally meet your parents. I don't want to do that. That doesn't sound fun to me.
at all. So like no, I don't want to read that. No, no.
But all the love to romance authors, and the romance readers. I'm glad that y'all enjoy it. I just can't get into it. There are a couple though I really love.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, because of me reading that book, I'm giving historical romance, let's be specific. I'm giving historical romance a chance because of that book, and maybe I'll read some other romance stuff along the way. Maybe I might.
There's a new romance that I really want to read. I can't remember the title of it. It's by Danny Navika, but it is the first indigenous romance to ever be traditionally published.
Oh, is it that uh introduce? No, that's not it. It's something Amber.
It's something Embers, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't remember the title, which I feel horrible about, but I'm very excited to read it. And actually, a friend of mine, Naomi Darling, who runs an Indigenous book club,
Hmm.
she's in Bindery too, actually, Bozo Books, if anybody's interested. But she's doing that book for her book club, so I'm reading it this month.
Yes, because I subscribed to her bindery as well because I saw her. You guys did a couple TikToks together and a couple of
We do a
um
lot of events
yeah,
together, yeah.
yeah. So I was like, okay, I'll check that out. And so I bought that book. Wait a minute, my Kindle's always close. I can tell you what the name is. Hold on. It is. Um, oh, it went down far. What is it? No, it didn't go down that far. I don't think. Oh, the truth according to Amber.
There it is. I was
Yep.
just looking for it too. I'm very excited to read that book.
Yeah. So I said I'm gonna have to get into that right now. I threw everything to the side to read Immortal Dark.
Okay.
So as soon as I'm done with that book, um, as soon as I'm done with that book, I'm reading Pretty by KB. What's
Wiggins,
it? Yeah, yeah,
absolutely. Incredible book.
yeah. I'm reading that next
I
because
love
I
KB.
I get to sit down with him next week.
I love KB so much.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that. So and all of these things have happened because I follow your TikTok.
Oh,
So I follow your TikTok, and so then I saw TikToks with you and what's her name again?
Naomi.
Naomi, right? So then I started following her on TikTok, and I saw her recommendation of the book. And as a trans guy, anything anything black, brown, and trans,
Mm-hmm.
I am always down for it. And so I saw that, and I didn't know that the book was I didn't know the book was out, right? Or even had been written. And so then I went and I got the book and then I started reading it. So then I reached out to him because I was like, hey, well, come talk because
Love
this
it.
awesome, you know what I mean? So this is an awesome book, the part I read so far, and he was like, or they were like, yeah, cool. And so I was like, awesome.
I love that.
So I definitely think that like I said before, the work that you're doing in the space is important, and it's also um for me, and I gotta be for other people, are connecting us to things that we wouldn't have thought about reading. We should be reading. We should be supporting. Like it's connecting a lot of people to a broader, diverse way of reading it and hopefully thinking.
The goal. That's the goal.
You are doing a good job, sir.
Thank you.
Awesome job. So you are always like it seems like you are always out there working. You know what I'm saying?
Booked and busy.
Booked and busy. So what do you do to relax? What's your self care look like?
I don't remember that. I don't remember that. I don't know. Like I want to say I read, but like to be honest with you, reading doesn't feel like relaxation anymore. Like I am when I'm reading, I'm always thinking about how can I help this author? How can I fight for this story? How can I do this? How can I do that? I'm always thinking about what is this story talking about? How do I incorporate that into a conversation? So it's not that relaxing. I do still really enjoy it, but it is work now as opposed to what it used to be. Um, I like to play with my kids. Um, I like to hang out with my friends, with my family, with my wife. I enjoy all of that. Um, can you hear my neighbor's music?
Nope.
That's good. Um, who starts a party at 2 in the afternoon? Um, but yeah,
Right? Like it's 2 o'clock. You know,
Go to bed, go to work, do something.
do something. Do something that ain't interrupting what I'm doing, which is usually nothing. At 2 o'clock, well, shoot, at 2 o'clock, I'm usually just waking up. Because I work overnights and it's like, ugh. So my days are flipped around. So 2 o'clock is good morning for me, while everybody else be talking about good afternoon. It's crazy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So let me see. I think I covered all of my questions because I wrote them down and everything. But you know how it's funny? Like I wrote them all down because I was like, all right, I want to make sure I get all these questions in because I'm fanboying right now because I'm a huge fan.
Oh,
And so, I had to make sure I wrote them down. And then I didn't look at them at all.
that's so funny. No, I always do that too in an interview. I'm like, I have all of these things I want to talk about. I can't guarantee that's what we're going to talk about, though.
Right? All right. So for my readers, if they are looking for you, where can they find you?
The number one most important spot to find me is Bindery. And I say that it's not my biggest platform, it's not my loudest platform, but I think it's my most important at the moment because we don't know where TikTok's going to end up. But also, like, you just don't see all of the content. With my bindery, you're going to get an email every single time I post. You're going to see all the important stuff. You're going to be able to participate. And that is where I am organizing to bring actual systemic change to the industry. I'm going to be disruptive. Right now, I'm real focused on building that community. But once we have it strong and ready, we're going to do some damage, family. We're going to do some damage, okay? So you can find me there. That is leftunreadbooks.binderybooks.com. You can also find me on TikTok at michael.laborn. That is LAB as in boy, ORN as in Nancy. You can find me on Instagram at Michael LaBorn. Um, that's really where I'm real active. And then if you want to see my messiest, most authentic behavior, I challenge you to follow me on Threads. Threads is where I talk trash about everybody.
Now I gotta follow you on Threads. I got,
I
I
have
got.
no goals there other than to just be myself.
Hey, I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. Oh, one last thing before we go. All right, so I always do this thing, right? So my sister always says that words mean things, right?
Hmm.
So what would be one word that you would leave with my readers till the next time we see you, and why would it be that word?
I think the word I would pick, all the first words came in my head were so cliche. Um, um, I'm going to use the word black. I'm going to say why. Because I think that black has meant one thing to Americans for a very long time and the world. But I think that one of the goals I have is to take that word and to help people see who we actually are. So that's a word that I feel we are as a generation really doing the work to unpack and to redefine. And I'm excited to see what we come up with at the end of it.
I love it. Thank you. All
That
right,
was so
y'all.
cliche though. My bad.
I love it. I love it. All right, y'all. So to the next time, if y'all are not subscribers to Blackout Magazine, I don't know what you're doing. I
Right.
need you to subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. We are the pulse of the culture. And if you want to know where we going, what we doing, who we talking to, you need to be a subscriber. So I need you to subscribe. The links will be in the bottom. Y'all don't want to miss out.
Press the
Until
button.
then, thank you. Like till then, y'all go read a book.